Hey everybody, my name is Sam. I'm the writer and director for Helldivers Forever War. It's my own animated series based on and set in the universe of Helldivers 2. And we just released our fourth episode. You can go check that out on the channel. It should be on the main page. Today I'm going to talk about I've not been sure if I should tell the story or not, but it's the story of how we landed the voice actor, or how we decided on the voice actor for Inquisitor Fodor. And it's a rather interesting story, at least from my perspective. It may be boring after watching it, but I guess the reason I want to tell this story is to kind of give some director's perspective as to what the casting decision looks like for picking a voice actor. My social media feed is filled with a lot of voice actors, and there are times where the frustration of not getting picked for a role comes out, and that's completely understandable. I'm a casting director for my own series, and even I still face rejection, whether it be inviting people to voice for a certain role or be an animator on the show. I still face rejection in that. And then, of course, there's just me out in my own real life, putting in applications for jobs, dating. I still get the rejection as well. So I'm able to relate to the rejection, but I wanted to offer a director's perspective and tell you guys a story as to how casting someone for a role is not very there's often not much of a formula to it, and especially for somebody that's totally new to this and is still learning. Things can catch you off guard and be a little surprising. So how we usually cast voice actors for Helldivers Forever War is I usually lurk in my social media pages, and anybody that I'm connected with, I'll go through people's profiles and just go through their demo reels if they have them attached. And if they don't have them attached, I don't listen to them or consider them because they don't have a demo reel attached. So if you're a voice actor and you don't have your demo reel attached, I'm probably not going to. Anyway, a little hint there. So, but that's how I don't like doing casting calls. I don't like doing auditions. And I usually just prefer kind of a lurking headhunting approach, just kind of finding people in the background. And that's how I've usually done it. And we haven't really needed a whole lot of characters for all of our episodes. We've needed guy that can sound militant and that can act, which is why I rely heavily on demo reels, because I need to be able to discern if you can act or not. But we're not really looking for characters. We're more of looking like, can you yell? Can you sound militant? But for Inquisitor Fodor, and actually 90% of the time that we work with voice actors, I usually end up just having them do their normal speaking voice. Like, there's only been a couple of times where we've had them actually put on some kind of a character. 9 times out of 10, it's usually just been their speaking voice. But for Inquisitor Fodor, that was different. We needed him to be a proper character because we had already integrated him into multiple episodes. And so he needed to be a consistent character. So we needed to find somebody that could deliver the character consistently and also come up with the character. So he needed to sound distinct and unique, as opposed to how we usually cast, which is people with their normal speaking voice, and then they give it their all with sounding militant and shouting and yelling and all that. It was the first time that I had done a casting call and audition, but even then I really only set the invitation to 3 individuals. So one of them axed themselves out rather quickly. It just wasn't going to work out. The second one, so I had developed a character sheet for Inquisitor Fodor, and I had 2 reference characters that I needed them to kind of mesh the two of I needed them to mesh those reference characters together and give a combination of those 2 reference characters. One of the voice actors that we asked to audition axed themselves out rather quickly. It wasn't their fault, just wasn't going to work out. And the second voice actor, they did something rather unique. They instead of instead of merging the two character references, they gave one take as one character and one take as the other. They nailed both of them, but they didn't quite merge the two like I needed. But they had the voice that at the time I thought I was looking for the character. They had a bit more of a wilder, kind of a more chaotic kind of tone and vibe to them, which at the time I had thought that's what I was looking for the character of Inquisitor Fodor. At the time, when working on Inquisitor Fodor, he was a little bit more of a loose cannon. He was kind of barely restrained by the laws of the Ministry of Truth, but he's kind of a loose cannon type. There was even ideas of him like when he executes the commander, he kind of like smears the blood over his mask and kind of like. It's just kind of, but we didn't do that. The character changed and evolved past that point. But at the time, that's what we were going for, and so the second voice actor giving a bit more of a wild, a bit more of an unrestrained kind of tone to his voice. At the time, we thought that's what I thought I was looking for. And then Doof Guy. This is not a criticism, and nothing I'm saying in this video is a criticism of anyone that ever did anything for us. This is a statement of fact. Doof Guy has a little bit more of a nasal to his natural speaking voice. At least that's how I detect it. There's nothing wrong with that. And the way that he delivered his lines was it wasn't quite what I was expecting, again, at the time. This is a really interesting story to tell because we're now on the backside of episode 4 being released, and I'll talk about that in a second. But he didn't quite have the voice that I was looking for. However, when it came to him merging the two characters together, nailed it. Got exactly what I was looking for. But he didn't quite have the voice that I thought I wanted Inquisitor Fodor to have. So we now have a problem where we have two fantastic voice actors, one of whom I'm still kind of fighting for because he has the voice that I'm looking for. And then we have Doof Guy, who doesn't quite have the voice that I think I want. But he nails the character fantastically. I can't decide between them. So I'm listening to their audition tapes, whatever. All right, Onk. And closing my eyes, I'm trying to visualize, because I'm more of a visual thinker, so I'm trying to visualize. I'm listening to their takes, and I'm seeing if anything, nothing comes to mind. I can hear both of them as the character. I take their audition reels, and I line them up with the reference footage that I gave them. And I'm listening to it, and I'm watching the reference footage. I can hear both of them playing this character. Sitting here going, well, fuck. So I take a screenshot of the character, and I play their auditions, and I stare at the screenshot of the character. One audition, two auditions. It's not helping. I can hear both of them. I'm sitting there going, I don't know what to do. It's a great problem to have. I mean, the alternative is we say, okay, they both can't do it, which is not true. They can both do it. But so the alternative is we go back and we headhunt, which I didn't really want to do, or we have to pick one of them. So I'm like, which one do we pick? There's no obvious. Ideally, how this works is there's a very obvious, like, you listen through different takes and you go, that one. And there's no real, like, rhyme or reason to that. You just kind of have this gut instinct of, like, that's going to be it. There wasn't a gut instinct with this one. In fact, I was actually leaning towards the second voice actor. But I didn't know what to do. So at the time, I was watching a show called Hell's Kitchen. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's this Gordon guy. He might make it. We'll see. Side story: there is actually there's a show called Hell's Kitchen Raw. It's unedited versions of the two teams, like just cooking, just being in the kitchen. It's just that. They don't add producer sound effects or it's just them cooking and Gordon coaching them. It's actually really entertaining. But I was watching Hell's Kitchen. There was a part in the series where they were testing out new recipes, and Gordon pulls in these customer review cards. And he says something to the effect of, like, it doesn't matter how good we are as chefs. If they don't like what we're serving, they don't like what we're serving. And I sat there and I went, it's ultimately my decision as to which voice actor I choose, but the audience is going to be the jury of this. They're going to be, Like they're ultimately going to decide if I chose somebody that fits the character right, or they're ultimately going to turn back on me and go, you made a bad decision. This guy doesn't sound right. So I thought, okay, well, let's get some other ears involved. So I contacted 10 people that I knew, some of whom had voice acting experience, some of whom had filmmaking experience, some of whom had none. So I contacted 10 people, and I sent them the photo of the character, and I gave them the 2 audition takes. One of the voice actor and of both voice actors, potential voice actors. And I said, look at the photo, listen to each audition, and tell me which one you think, gut reaction, sounds like the photo. All 10 of them said Doof Guy is your pick. All 10 voted for Doof Guy. I sat there and I went, well, that's pretty fucking clear, isn't it? What was funny is that I still wanted the other guy. There was a little bit, and there was a little part of me that was like, I think he can do it. He has kind of the voice I was going for. Now, again, this doesn't really make sense to you guys because at the time, we hadn't really locked in. We still, like, his character's still kind of in, it's still pretty much set in stone, but there's still room to grow and stuff. But I had a very different idea for his character at the time. But I sat there and I went, it's like all 10 of them voted for Doof. It's not like a 7-3 or a 6-4 or God forbid a 5-5. It's 10-0. I feel kind of bad telling this story because it's like not even one voted for the other guy. Like that's crazy. That's wild. So I took it as a little bit of a Vox Populi, Vox Dei situation, like the voice of the people, etc. and so forth, right? And told the other guy, hey, thanks a ton. Really appreciate it. We're going to go with Doof. And said, hey, Doof, you got the role. And now we're on the flip side of episode 4. It's got 200,000 views in a month. It's got 6 million views in a little over a month. It's got 1 million views on Instagram. It bombed on TikTok. But quickly became a fan favorite character. And Doof has graciously agreed to work with us for future episodes, which I'm very excited about. And the more I got to work with Doof on the character, the more I realized, yeah, the 10 chose wisely. And it appears now that I have chosen wisely to listen to them because we're now on the flip end of that. That's a story that I tell because it's weird to figure that out. Because there's not really... I haven't found, and I would be curious if anyone else has voice acting experience, because I'm new to all this. This is one of the reasons I kind of hesitate to make videos like this. Like, I'm 29. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This wasn't supposed to be successful in the first place. But we're at 92,000 subscribers. I had 10,000 when I started. I didn't think I'd get any. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time. But I have yet to find if there is the way to pick the voice actor for it, other than just this gut feeling, this gut instinct. And the story is also weird because it's like, well, I didn't really go with my gut on this one. Because like there are times where you do go with your gut, and sometimes that decision is easy. There are other times where it's like, man, my gut clocked out. My gut was like, see ya, good luck. Anyway, so I tell that story hopefully to just kind of give a little bit of insight in terms of what it looks like to be the casting director, and what it looks like is I don't know what I'm doing. We're just trying to make shit happen out here. But it ended up working out great. Doof nailed the character, and in ways that I didn't even know needed to be done. Like, I listened back to takes and I'm like, I didn't tell him to do that. How do you know how to do that? That's fantastic. I wish I had told him to do that, and then I could take credit for it. He nailed the character. Anyway, so that's the end of the story. Episode 5 is currently in production. It's probably going to come out. I don't. This is not an announcement, but like I don't know, July, early July, maybe August at the latest. If you like what you do, if you like what we do, and you like what I hope you like what you do. If you like what we do, you can support us by becoming a member or a patron, or by doing a super chat or a super thanks or something like that. If you guys have any questions about production, I'd love to answer them, and especially if you send it in the form of a super thanks, maybe I'll even make a video about it. So yeah, if you want to support the channel, you can become a member or a Patreon, and of course, if you can't do that financially, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all the stuff that boosts the stuff in the algorithm genuinely does help us out. At the time of recording, we are just under 100,000 subscribers. I never would have thought that my channel would have ever gotten that. Thank you guys so much for your support. And I will see you for episode 5, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. Take care.